Premier League predictions, round 30. And welcome back to Very Biased Opinions, where we are going over another round of Premier League predictions with myself and the man who could do no wrong last weekend on predicting scores, Thomas Pickering. How did you do it, Tom? What is your secret? No, there's no time for that, because every game is time-stamped down below, so you can cherry-pick between the games if you want to, but I highly recommend you not doing that, because you're just going to miss out on spun gold coming out of our mouths. And without further ado, Thomas, lead us in to the first match.
Everton versus Liverpool.
A Merseyside derby, and a week ago, when it all looked to be crumbling down behind Klopp, they could have already won the title without kicking a ball before this game's even played. Absolutely unbelievable. Really shows how everybody has just let Liverpool run away with it this season. No one's given them any challenge whatsoever. How do you see it? Because I can only see Liverpool winning this now. Everton seem to have really let me down in that game against Chelsea.
Everton got absolutely spanked by Chelsea. And I predicted a win for Chelsea, so let's give me some more points.
You did?
No, but they were just roundhouse beaten, and Chelsea were at their fluid best. Pedro had a sensational game, but Everton were just picked apart in that. They were just ripped asunder. And if there's another team in the league that can rip teams apart out of nowhere, it's Liverpool. And they're always up for these games, aren't they? When's the last time you saw Liverpool go to Everton and not try and win?
Sure. I
mean, they put out a team of 16-year-olds and beat them, so I'm not really sure what a team of fully grown men are going to do. If they can beat them 1-0 with a bunch of 16-year-olds, 10-0? 11? I mean, for me, it's going to be 3-0 to Liverpool.
Have Everton got any chance at all, Thomas? Come on, they got to think that we've just seen a Manchester derby where Manchester United had more to play for than Manchester City, so they went out and beat them. Is there anything Everton can do, like being at Goodison? Can they stop this title run, or are Liverpool going to win it at Goodison?
I mean, essentially also Liverpool winning the title at Goodison. How much would they love that?
But is it written in the stars?
All they're playing for is possibly officially being out of the relegation scrap because they're on 40 points. That's pretty much all Everton's season has left. They've been garbage in the first half. They've picked their raging dumpster fire up. They've moved it left. They poured a little water on it to slow it down, but there's nothing. They've had nothing all year. And Liverpool are probably going to win the title at Everton.
Yeah, I don't see it being 3-0 though. I just see Liverpool, there's something that's just not as fluid as they were earlier on in the season. I can see them just sort of grinding to a 2-1 win. They seem to have lost a bit of that solidity at the back as well. They're not quite as... I
wonder if it's going to take a game like Atletico Madrid to get them going again, and if this just kind of reset. I think, what did I say? 4-0 to Liverpool in our predictions in the Champions League, and I really do think they'll beat Atletico Madrid, and I wonder if that will kind of kick them back into gear a little bit.
Yeah, well, you might be already right. I mean, they were clearly a little bit nervous in that Bournemouth game. They had to come from a goal down. Now, they couldn't have had a better week in terms of the way the results went. It's made the league even more of a formality for them. So Liverpool to win 2-1 for me. Watford versus Leicester City.
So I correctly predicted Watford to lose 1-0 last week. Let's live with that for a second. I don't know yet if I correctly predicted a Leicester 2-0 win against Aston Villa, but we can all assume based on
you probably will.
I'm due another one, right? What's 4 without a 5th? But Watford, they're not, under Pearson, they're not really following their tried and tested 10 wins, 10 losses thing, are they? They're just... No. They're just being completely insane, and the club is too good to go down in all probability. But they're there. They're right in line with the relegation battle. They're equal on points with Bournemouth. I don't think this is going to be easy for either side, if I'm being honest. Leicester are kind of limping to the end of the season. Jamie Vardy, we've spoken about this multiple times, and I've argued with you every time, and I was wrong too. Jamie Vardy is just off the boil. He's close, but he's just not hitting the goals. And without him hitting the goals, does anyone truly trust Iheanacho to score a huge amount? It's going to be a really tough game. I think Watford are going to lose again. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Leicester City.
Watford really let me down in that game. There's a lot of sides that let me down last weekend. That's why I only got one result right so far. That was Liverpool. They were really poor in the game, and They didn't really seem like they were going to get back into it at any point either. They do tend to be a bit stronger at home, and for the foolishness in me, I'm just going to back them this one final time. I just think they're going to get this win. As I say, we've talked about Leicester. They are a little bit off the boil. They're not playing with the same intensity as they did earlier on in the season. And Watford need it. Really, really badly. And I think I'm going to do the reverse of what you've done. I think it'll be Watford 2, Leicester City 1.
I mean, so looking at the Premier League table now, and I know I've talked way too much in the last video, and I plan on talking way too much in this video. Leicester are now only 2 points clear of Chelsea, which means they're only 5 points clear of Man United in 5th place. What was a dream season is slowly coming down. Are they this year's Spurs? Are they going to be, in 1st or 2nd place, or 2nd or 3rd place for a huge period of the season? And could we see them drop out of a Champions League spot possibly now?
Well, there are sides coming up. We'll talk about those sides coming up behind them. There's one particular that play in red and play at Old Trafford that are looking very good.
Yes, Arsenal. No, but seriously, Brendan Rodgers, I feel like if in reality, if they drop to 5th or 6th, it's still a great season. But considering how high they were to how low that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, they'll be a victim of their own success if it happens, won't they? And a little bit like how Chelsea, no one really gave them a chance, even though we did at the start of the season. They had a really good start. When they sort of fell away, people started getting on Lampard's back.
West Ham United hosting the Wolves from Wolverhampton.
A lot of sides let me down, as I've already talked about, but few let me down as much as Wolves let me down. I was really surprised that they got that 0-0 draw against Brighton. That was probably one of the shocks of the weekend, I would say. They've been looking so good. They even had a week off before it as well, so they had no Europa League hangover going into it, and inexplicably they couldn't get the job done. Also, another team couldn't get the job done, West Ham. They really should have beaten Arsenal. I don't know how they didn't get something out of the game. They had all the chances, they just couldn't take them, and that's probably been something they've been guilty of all season. And now I'm left in a quandary. Of what to do.
Well, do you want my opinion first, or just
in a minute? I think this one's going to be a draw. I'll split the difference. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
I don't know what to think of West Ham, because especially in the first half, it felt like they really were going to get something out of the Arsenal match, and then they just couldn't do it. And I feel
come on, they missed some gilt-edged chances. There's this one where Antonio's run through, a 2-on-1, and Haller just inexplicably doesn't know how to hold his run to get an easy shot away.
But see, this is what worries me, because that Arsenal match is a match they're going to be really up for. As much as Wolves have become a really good Premier League side and are pushing on for, I don't think people view them as that, and I don't know if West Ham are going to be up for this. I wonder if they think, we'll just go in for a draw. And I don't think they're going to get it. I really like this Wolves team. Obviously, I predicted them to win 3-0 last week. I got 2 results wrong, and that's one of them. Mm-hmm. And, honestly, though, this Wolves team are too good. I can't see them drawing with West Ham United. I've got them winning 2-0.
But enough of that. Thomas, watch out! The Eagles are coming! Because it's AFC Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace.
Ian, I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. Last week, I predicted a 1-0 win for Palace. It happened. The week before, I predicted a win for Palace. It happened. The week before, I predicted a win for Palace. 1-0. It also happened. I don't know what to do, because my head tells me I must predict 1-0 to the Palace, because I can't go wrong. But nobody beats Eddie. Nobody beats Eddie. Jurgen, you didn't really beat Eddie. You may have won the battle, but you did not win a moral victory there. Eddie Howe wins all moral victories. He is a god, a saint. He is sent down. He is the second coming of Christ. He walks on water. He turns water into wine. He just a magician of a human being. He's kept Bournemouth in the Premier League all this time. And honestly, this is one of the games that Bournemouth have to win to stay in the league, right? They have about 3 matches left that when you look at it, you go, they can win. The rest of them are against basically top 6 opposition. You really worry for them in that sort of match, like Liverpool. Your Palace are safe now. They've done really well. They're up to the mid-table section. They've won 3 in a row. Obviously, Bournemouth have lost 3 of their last 4 after that shock victory, or the shock draw over Chelsea, and a victory against, I feel like it was another big team, but I can't remember. I think Bournemouth are going to do it. I think they're going to claw their way out of the relegation zone here and jump over a couple of the opposition. It's not a knock on Palace in any way, but I think Bournemouth are going to take this. This is season defining. It's week 30. There's only 8 matches left after this, and like I said, there's only a couple they can actually win. Most of their players that are going to come back seem to be back now. Again, like I said, this week in, week out, they're a lot more concise. Like against Liverpool, it's possible they could have ended up doing better than they did. They scored first. They then just shipped 2 goals in about 10 minutes, which they've done a couple times this season. But I've got them to win this.
Get on with it.
2-0 to Bournemouth.
Fucking hell. I thought you could have given that score 2 minutes ago. Yes, so Palace looked like they were struggling, and then 3 grind out 1-0 wins, and all of a sudden they're sitting pretty in the mid-table. I'm going to back Bournemouth as well in this one, just because going off the premise of what I did against Watford earlier on, they just need it. They really, really need a win in this one, and I think they're going to get it. I disagree with what you say. They've only got a handful of games they can win, because I think Bournemouth are capable of winning any game. They played really, because they're so good the way they play. They played really well against Liverpool. They should have got something out of the game. It was only a really unbelievable clearance from James Milner that get back to clear this goal line that stops them getting a 2-2 draw. And they're a good enough side, and they've got good enough players to be able to get points out of anybody. And I see them winning this one. I'm actually going to match your score. I think they'll win 2-0 too.
To Manchester City, hosting Burnley.
Manchester City continue to be this enigma of a season, isn't it? Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're terrible. And when they're terrible, they just make inexplicable mistakes. Like against Manchester United, they weren't great, but out of nowhere, Ederson just makes these really poor mistakes and they lose the game 2-0. They are so guilty of being like Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. It is unbelievable. I cannot believe how much they look like this now. Overplaying, trying to walk the ball into the net. Yes, they're controlling games, but they're playing football, but they're not really hurting sides with the football that they're playing. It's very much sideways passes, back and forward. Very little, didn't really have a huge amount of cutting edge against Man United in that game. However, you just get the feeling this is going to be a game where they're going to get a routine win. And Burnley have been excellent. It's nothing against them, but City just, I think they got to play Arsenal. They've got 2 kind of nice home games for them, really. They've got to play Arsenal. They've got to play Burnley. I think Man City will win this 3-0.
Yeah, I am. This is pathetic, but I'm just going to copy your scoreline here. But you copied mine last time. Huh? Sit in your chair. Stay in that chair.
Anything. I was thinking about Man City's defence, to be honest with you.
Good point. I'm going 3-1. No, I'm going 3-0. Yeah, Burnley did really well against Spurs. 1-1 draw. Again, correct score. That was a really good one, Tom. I need this.
Impressed.
But, City, I don't understand the Man United game. That Ederson clearance for the McTominay goal, it's just such silly errors. And then a complete inability to just shoot and score unless Aguero's doing it. And I know he got his goal. He was offside. He's pretty clearly leaning over the line. It was a nice offside. Sorry. Yes. But
if that goal would have stood, that would have been a joke for VAR as well, because De Gea's let that in. Thinking that the linesman flags up. He hasn't even tried to save it. So really, I'm so glad that was actually a little bit offside.
Oh, it would have been awful. And then we'd all be talking about De Gea's errors, not Ederson's. But
anyway, to the whistle.
Yeah. I think let's hope City can keep a clean sheet for once. It'd be nice for them. And I really like Burnley, but they don't have Chris Woods isn't a prolific goal. So they don't have anyone that you'd put in a team and be like, this guy's going to score goals. So yeah, 3-0 to City. Okay, so we've reached the halfway point, and it's time for me to thank all of you for following our channel and subscribing. Please take a look to see if you're still subscribed. YouTube is stealing things from us, among them children, toys, yogurt, a series of things you wouldn't expect. But thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting. We really appreciate it. I've done a really bad job responding to comments this week. I swear I'll do better next week. And then we also have grandstand bettors. Everything we do is in association with them. If just once Ian gave them my prediction, we'd actually win some money. But he refused week in, week out. No, but we love all of you. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support you've shown us. And please just keep going and, pushing our channel for us. It's really appreciated. And without further ado or any more lily gilding, Ian, what is the next match?
Aston Villa versus Chelsea.
I think Aston Villa is cruel. They're they tried. They've really tried this year. It's not worked out especially well for them.
In my defense, I couldn't think of anything funnier to say.
No, I liked it. Okay. Chelsea were nothing short of superb in their 4-0 victory. I think they needed that. They'd been on such patchy form, and Frank Lampard was getting a lot of stick for it. Puts Pedro in the team, and they just ran riot over Everton. We've spoken about that already. Mount had a pretty decent game as well. He seems to come in for a lot of flack as if he's not like a young player who was playing in the Championship last year, as if he's supposed to be like a match winner already all the time. Who knew if you put Olivier Giroud in the squad, you'll score goals. It's like he won a World Cup and has led the line internationally for like 130 matches. I don't know, it's some insanity or something going on there. But he's been really good. He's changed. He's honestly, to me, he's changed the way Chelsea play. He makes them look a lot better. Obviously, Tammy Abraham comes back. He takes his role back because he can just score from anywhere. He's been really good. But Olivier Giroud has got to be the best backup striker anyone has. Aston Villa have not impressed anybody in a while. They did well in the League Cup final, but I don't think this is going to be their day. I think they're going to stay rooted to that kind of 19th spot. Chelsea 3-0.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I mean, again, Chelsea just frustrate the hell out of me. I cannot pick their score right. So back the opposite of whatever I say against Chelsea, because I do think they'll win this one. It just felt like Lampard in the last two games when they played Liverpool and when they played I can't forget who they beat for Everton. He just seemed to get the blend right finally of playing the youth and playing the experienced players as well, and they seem to gel really well. He's brought Kepa back in, and Kepa's actually looked quite good since coming back in goal.
Yeah,
the break's actually done him the world of good. Everyone's raving about Billy Gilmour as if he's the new Phil Foden, but to be fair to him, he has had 2 really good games, so he deserves to be in the side. And I
that 2 more than Phil Foden then.
Yeah. And I do completely agree with you that they look a much stronger side when Olivier Giroud plays. He just gives them that focal point, and everybody else plays around him. So it's hard. I can't see Villa getting anything out of this one. I think it'll be. I think they'll score just because Chelsea do have their demons at the back still. I think it'll be Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 3.
Do you find it funny that Karim Benzema and Olivier Giroud are the same age and the exact same player, and they're both French? Neither of them are prolific goal scorers. Neither of them get any credit for what they do, and yet having them lead the line, everyone around them looks better. They're like an actually effective version of Emile Heskey. Oh God, not one of these. God, Ian, you have got so many fun things to talk about here because it's Newcastle United versus Sheffield United.
I don't know where to start, Thomas. I don't know where to start. I'm a kid in a sweet shop. Let's start with Chris Wilder sliding to celebrate another fine Sheffield United win, just like he did when Oxford won the playoffs all those years ago. And just like all those years ago where he used to always slag off the Oxford goalkeeper, he continually slags off Dean Henderson despite him playing amazing and making great saves. Wilder refuses to give him any praise. Oh, isn't he a stubborn old guy? But that's enough of Sheffield United. I don't want to talk about them because I'm here to eulogise over the greatest manager ever.
Is he dead?
I just cannot believe he's found a way. Now he's not only got this side that's so hard to beat, Thomas, he's found a match winner and a goal scorer in Alan St-Maximin. Clearly the greatest performance ever since Lionel Messi put on a pair of boots. A fantastic 1-0 win for Newcastle, led by Steve Bruce, the second coming of Kevin Keegan.
I will love it if we
Jokes aside, I actually really like Alan St-Maximin. I know he's frustrated as hell to watch, but at least he's exciting. When he gets the ball, he wants to run at people, take them on, and make things happen, and that at least makes him exciting to watch. And what can you do, Tom? I like both of these sides, but I have to go with Steve Bruce just because he is such a master tactician and a master manager. Newcastle 1, Sheffield United 0.
So now that your nonsense is over, Ian, and thank you so much for all of that. I did sleep through most of it. Newcastle United did win 1-0 last week, and I did predict that result because Southampton are unadulterated garbage. Unfortunately, Sheffield United are not unadulterated garbage, and they are probably going to win this. I will say that Maximan is really fun to watch, and he reminds me a little bit of Asamoah Gyan when he came into the league.
Who?
Was brilliant, was great in a World Cup. And I'm really afraid that he'll do this for about 6 months and then leave to like Dubai or China and just take the money and be like, I'm tons of fun to watch, but they're going to pay me a ton more. I don't think Newcastle United are going to win this. I do think it's going to be fun to watch St. Maximin try and run around the Sheffield players and then just literally floor him over and over and over. Like, they won't dive in. They'll just kick him in the hip and let him fall over. Chris Wilder's penchant for insulting goalkeepers, like goaling, I love it.
To be fair, he didn't really insult him. They were talking about, and Dean Henderson really, in my opinion, he's been the best English goalkeeper so far this season. Yeah. Deserves the praise, but Wilder's just like, well, it's his job. It's his job. He's there to save. So it's like, but he's always been like that. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm gonna back Sheffield United in this, and I'm gonna back them by the classic scoreline, which I won with them last week, of 1-0.
Brighton, Hove, and Albion versus Arsenal.
Well, the three teams from the south take on the Gunners from London. The unadulterated dumpster fire continues to disappoint. Somehow they won 1-0 last week. Ugh. What can you say about Arsenal?
Well, I can say Arsenal have lost less games than Manchester City this season, and I can say they have won 3 games in a row, somehow. They do not really look like they've made any significant improvements under Arteta, only the fact that they are turning some of those draws into wins.
Yeah, I see literally no difference in this Arsenal side from the Arsenal side under whatever his name was, and the bloke before him, who was Arsene Wenger.
Bruce Rioch.
Yes, Bruce Rioch and Graham. No, I see literally no change in this Arsenal team. They're honestly just, you don't know what's going to turn up. You don't know which player is going to turn up. You don't know at what point one of their center backs is just going to switch off and let a man run in behind him. Or at what point they're going to put like a 40-year-old Per Mertesacker out there just to have circles from around him. You don't know, and you can't trust him. Their best player may well be their goalkeeper. I don't know, there's a bang. Their second best player is their goalkeeper. I don't like this Brighton side. I said this week in, week out, and yet for 2 straight weeks they pulled off decent results. They worked really hard. It looks like they're trying to go back to their roots and stay in the league. And because it's Arsenal and I know better, I refuse to back them. Therefore, this week, a shock at the Amex. It's a 1-0 victory to the 3 men from Brighton, Hove, and Albion.
I think Brighton fans are the easiest fans to pull the wool over their eyes, Thomas, because I think that they are pretty much the same as what Chris Hughton was doing, grinding out results, not scoring goals, but maybe they're just keeping possession and passing the ball around a little bit more, and all the Brighton fans are like, oh, what are they doing? That's incredible! Yeah, I'm not really getting it. That was a really good result against Wolves. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but they're not really gone move forward anything else, which is fine. That's, survival in the Premier League is their mantra. That's what they need to do for the next few seasons to improve as a club. And hook or by crook, Graham Potter is getting the job done. That being said, I am going to back Arsenal in this one just because I'm a sucker for them, as you all know. And I think that the Gooners will win because they've got such a steady and solid defence. I think they'll win 2-0.
You don't think they'll concede a goal?
They haven't, though, have they? They seem to somehow skate through these games and not concede now. I don't know why.
A couple of Brighton fans, or at least maybe one who's written multiple times, seems to think that we're watching different Brighton matches, especially the one where I said that they were unadulterated garbage. I think that might have been the Palace result. Let me state to you, I watched them take 24 shots. I also watched like 21 of them not go near the target. I watched Neil Maupay scream at everybody angrily, and then every time he gets the ball, just shoot. I watched incredibly pointless play, shit build up, and like a lack of effort from multiple players. So Brighton fans, come at me if you want, but like, honestly, if you think that this is top-level football, you are, let me just quickly check this and confirm. Yeah, you're 2 points above the relegation zone. This isn't a good season. This isn't something to go home and write to your parents about. You have been paid.
Come on. I think if they stay up, it's a good season. We thought they would be down bottom of the league.
It's not the season they're trying to tell us they're having.
Okay.
It's not like they haven't moved forward. Like you said, they haven't moved forward. They've, if anything, maintained the exact same and just put a new face on it. Ooh, it's time for some excitement because it's Norwich City hosting Southampton.
Southampton have actually really been on a really bad run. If you look at it, I think they've lost 4 out of the last 5. They're sliding back into that form they had earlier on in the season, despite Ralph Hasenhüttl coming out every week and saying that, oh, we need to address this, They don't seem to be addressing it. I think they're players, to use a term, on the beach. So I think Norwich could get a win here. I think that this could be a one where Norwich could get... They look a little bit of a better side at home than they do away. And I'm foolish and I'm crazy and I need to get some points back on you. So I'm going to back Norwich to win this one. I think they're going to win 2-1.
Ian, you're going to be shocked by this. But I'm going to back Norwich to win this game 1-0.
Stop backing 1-0s.
I don't subscribe in any way to Norwich surviving the Premier League, but I do feel like they're going to keep getting a couple points just to put that pressure. So you're like, oh, but if they put like 4 wins together randomly, they could be not only out of the relegation zone, but like they could be clear. I also, just like you said, I think Southampton are on the beach. I don't think they care. I think they've gone up to 34 points and are like, this year that might actually keep us safe. Because
I don't think they are better away from home than they are at home because they couldn't have done more to give Newcastle that game.
Actually, when you said there's not a lot to say about these two sides, the only thing you can say about them is they both lost 1-0 last week. That's it. That's what we've got. Move on!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Jose Mourinho, the king, coming up against his former employers. It's time for our main event.
Jose Coutinho's Tottenham Hotspur hosting Manchester United.
Well, is it a Tottenham side that will still be in the Champions League or not? We don't know. We will see. You can click on our video giving predictions on that in the top corner, but they are facing a red-hot Red Devils side, and to tell you more about it is resident Manchester United fan and expert Thomas Pickering.
So United beat Man City last week. I actually predicted them to win a game, and they won a game, and I'm in shock, and it was Man City, and I'm in shock again and again and again. They've beaten them 3 times out of 4 this year, which honestly feels like more wins than we've had all year, in all honesty. But it's been great. It's really nice to see it coming up against big teams. I think they're going to replicate this sort of good luck and good form against Spurs. They are keeping a lot of clean sheets right now. Outside of the 1-1 draw with Everton, they have had like 4 or 5 clean sheets in their last 6 or 7 games, which is really big because once De Gea in the defense is on form and Bruno is up front pulling the strings for the attackers, this United team all of a sudden looks leaps and bounds better. Every week since we signed him, Bruno Fernandes is the complete difference. The free kick to Anthony Martial was sublime. Yeah, Martial's hit it right at the goalkeeper on his near post, and he somehow fumbled it into the net. But such is life. The Scott McTominay goal is just... I actually think it's a great finish. I know he's 40 yards out, but how many times we see players just sky that, hit it left, right? He's just curled it in there beautifully. And Scott McTominay being back from Man United and being that sort of defensive linchpin allows Fernandes to go even further forward and just do whatever he likes. Because he knows there's this nutcase Scotsman that looks like an 18-year-old teenager that's just going to batter you every single time you come near him. Luke Shaw is a revelation all of a sudden at centre-back. He looks so much better at centre-back than he did earlier in the season. Wan-Bissaka finally is starting to kind of move forward with the ball better. He's been terrible for most of the year when he ran in a forward direction. But all of a sudden in the last couple of games, it's like it's finally starting to click what he's supposed to do. And, you know, all my early season hatred of Man United is just slowly ebbing away as I look at this and I go, if they're going to keep clean sheets, then yeah, this is a fun side to watch again. And Bruno's made it a lot more fun. It'd be great to have Rashford back, but obviously he's not going to. I don't know what Jose's doing. I have no idea. Van Berwegen, or whatever his name is, has just gone down injured. And I'm pretty sure outside of Lucas Moura now, there is no one allowed to score goals at that club. Dele Alli's incredible form under Jose has completely disappeared. He now plays as a striker. I suppose not. Is there literally no... Wait, what about Mr. Parrott?
He's told you this all the time. Jose comes out every week and tells you he's got no strikers. Graham Wesley manages Stevenage, who sit... I think he's actually left, but they sit bottom of League Two.
Yeah.
And I feel more sorry for Jose than I do for them. Because he's just got nothing. He's got nothing to deal with. Give the guy a chance.
Let's not even get into the Eric Dyer situation of him charging into his end. Also, I have no problem with that because I still find it funny that Eric Cantona kung fu kicked a fan. But I mean, what is it about Spurs and just having mental breakdowns at the end of the season and ruining any chance they have? That is a watershed thing when you get so annoyed you charge into the crowd. And now every single match, Eric Dyer is going to be chanted at over and over and over again. And I feel bad for him, but it's not great. United are going to win this 2-0.
Manchester United, excellent against the top sides. And I'm still classing Spurs in that because they're not going to come and sit back and defend against this Man United side. Although you never know with Jose. Man United look a hell of a lot better at the back. The only goal they conceded recently is that mistake by De Gea. So they just look very solid. Wan-Bissaka, I think, looking excellent at full. I think he's improved a hell of a lot. He's always, especially defensively. I mean, he really marked Sterling out of the game in that Manchester derby. I'm not going to talk too much about Fernandes because I like him, but for me, he's a poor man's Fellaini. But he does seem to make everybody better around him, including people like Fred. Martial's form's improved a lot since Fernandes has been in the side. Yes.
Did you see the yellow card Fred got for diving?
Oh yeah, that was. Oh god, yeah, that was terrible. That should have been a penalty all day long.
He's just been scythed down
and in the shin.
He's just.
That was a really bad one as well. But generally, I think Manchester United have been quite enjoyable to watch lately. It's hard for me to look beyond your score, really, but I'm going to. I don't know. I think it could even be 3-0 Man United.
I tell you what, if United beat Spurs 3-0, I actually don't know what to think anymore because, in the old days, even when Spurs were on the up and Man United were on the down, we beat Spurs all the time because we always had their number. And then a couple of years ago, I think they beat Man United at home, and it was like the watershed moment where the Spurs players that seemed to click, we can beat this team.
That was the Mourinho respect thing, wasn't it? Or
respect.
Yeah.
No Mourinho, no respect. But if we can beat this Spurs side, I think you look at the table, you look at what Man United have done, you look at the new lease on life they have, and it's not that Man United are back. They're still eons away from this Liverpool team. But they're starting to end the year really strongly. And if they can end the year this strongly, you rate them for next season.
Okay, let's bring you down a peg by just saying, well done, Liverpool, you're going to win the league. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for watching this video. Again, sticking through us for another long Premier League predictions. But we do hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, hit subscribe, give us loads of comments, and go and check out Grandstand Betters. Thomas, do we have anything else to add?
If you came here looking for detailed football analysis, listen to me, not Ian. I'm a savant. A savant!